In today's video, we are doing a Batman art portrait. But bigger. Bigger. Perfect. Now let's get to work. Hello and welcome to the final build of the month. My name is Brandon and I'm super excited for today's build. It's the final build of the month. We exit the week the same way we entered the week, that is of a Batman set. What do we have? Well, let me tell you. We have the Batman art. This is the set number 31205, coming in at 4,167 pieces. And we have 3 of them. More on that in a minute. This is a art piece that I wanted to do ever since I found out about doing 3-in-1 art pieces. Buy 3 sets, make a portrait. I did it back in April with the Elvis Presley. Had a blast doing that video, but after doing it, I kind of realized that it's not something I want to continue to do because of price. It is very expensive to go out and get these sets and do this, especially if they are retired, and about $200 a box. Elvis, I think, costed us about $450 to $500. That's a lot, but he is the king. But my plans changed when I was at Target. You may remember this in an earlier vlog video back in June. I found all 3 of these for half price. So instead of spending $120 per piece, I spent $60 per piece for each of these, making the total of $180 to do the 3-in-1 Batman art. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know, well, I was going to show you a picture of what we are going to make with these 3, but I decided to make you all have to wait till the end of the video. You'll see the time lapse. You'll see it happen. But if you know, you know. If you don't know, well, tune in at the end of the video to see. With these art sets, though, besides the one that I'm purposely building, you can go ahead and do Harley Quinn, the Joker, and let's take a look at the box. Of course, Batman's face. These are all, like with Elvis, face portraits. But that's the 3 that they have advertised: Joker, Batman, and Harley. I'm for sure there's probably online guides to probably do Penguin and all the other villains throughout Batman, probably even Catwoman. So, and maybe even Robin, who knows? But that's not what we're doing here today. So before we get into our time lapse and just get into this build, I want to go ahead and let's just grade the box and do everything we normally would do with a video, even though we're not going to build one of the face portraits, but yet a body portrait with these sets. And usual, it's just art, guys. I mean, the box is what it is. There's nothing too excited. This is part of the Jim Lee collection, and it is just a really cool blend of like Batman in general, more of like a comic book like Batman, and that's what makes this really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just start scoring things, even though we're kind of going off the beaten path with this build. Box design is a very simple 10, like you can't get any more simpler with this. So let's go ahead, let's open it up and see what we have in terms of what is in one of these boxes. It's probably like all art. They have a pocket for the plates, tons of bags of the dots, so forth and so on. So one thing to note with this set, or these sets, these are not using tiles. They are using stud stud tiles instead, or whatever you want to call them. And there is a lot of them. A lot of good colors. Of course, you need these colors to make a lot of the figures that it's going to have you make. Let's take a look at the book. If you were to do a standard portrait, you would be looking at about, it's hard to say, it doesn't actually tell you how many steps. The book itself is about 100 pages, and it does show you in the first half of the book to do Batman, the second half of the book to do Joker, and the third half of the book to do Harley Quinn. So that is the 3 that it is saying. Now I am looking to see if it does have a teaser for what we are going to build, because this is a Lego authorized build, so these are instructions you can get on lego.com if you look up the set. So it's not like we're doing anything on rebrickable.com today, which we are not, and it doesn't say anything in the book. Actually, it kind of does. So here's a secret of what we're doing right there. We're going to do that with these 3 sets. Let's just finish out with the grading. It is what it is. It's packaged nice. It's an 8. Let's put that on the board. And that is that. So there we are. We're starting off with a typical 18 usually. That's our average for box and packaging grading. Everything is done really simple. Now, what I'm excited for with this build, since it is a large build, each one of these sets, like I said, is 4,167 pieces, and we have to take 3 of these sets to make that Jim Lee picture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enlist the help of my wife. Hopefully she'll work with me on time lapse so you can see us build. The way that we do this is as I go from the top, she starts at the bottom, and we just go boop, 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 done. And then together we knock out the frame, and we have the picture. So if you see extra hands on the time lapse, I got her to help. So with that, let's go to that time lapse. Let's watch this thing get built, and we will be back to review it. So now we're at the review and wrap up of the Lego Jim Lee 3-piece Batman art set. And what did we create, since I didn't show you guys any source material other than a little picture on the instruction booklet? Well, here we are. So, starting off with the review portion, I just want to say this is amazing. Like, when I look at it, it looks like he's in a explosion comic type background. And then he does have like the bluish hood coming over. You can see his lower mouth face element right there. His eyes are obviously right there. And then when you come down, you can see the bat symbol and more of that gray tones of his actual vest. And then you can see he does have a batarang with his utility belt right down there. And then a part of his hood or cape is flowing over here. So it is really cool. It is very comic booky, but I think it's wonderful. Now, if I had to pick anything apart about this set, I will say one thing. Doing the explosion, dusty background right near his face is kind of it kind of looks weird in a way, because you have this explosion-y background, which is using almost the same exact colors as his mouth. And without that line, if you don't notice that line, you won't really notice. So he kind of looks like he doesn't have a face because it blends in. But probably from where you're looking, let me come back, it does look pretty accurate. You can really see his fist holding the batarang. I do like how they use these green elements to kind of accent the build, like in a shadow format. Like I said, and I do love the blue. It's really classic comic book. And then I love that bat symbol showing almost completely on his chest, but ever so slightly covered up by his cape. So overall, really cool piece. Really happy to have now 2 of these. I don't know what lies in the future for 3-piece art collections. I do know I would like to do the Star Wars one, but that was so long ago that the third-party market price would almost probably be $600 to $800 to do it, and to me it's just not worth it. I would give a piece count on this, but I've done this before. I did it with Elvis, and if you guys go back on Elvis, it's a corny video. I had a ton of fun shooting it. You guys will see that I counted all the pieces. There's no extra pieces on this one. It's the same as Elvis. And there's no need to keep doing the piece count over and over again when we're going to get the same result. Now, wrapping up this video, build quality. I will say, we did have a debate, my wife and I, as you've seen her in the build video of this. We were talking about studs versus tiles. And this was a constant thing we did. I think we spent over 5 hours combined building this. So your build time would be about 10 hours per one person. But with the studs, because of Lego technique, can fit in between 4 studs on the plate. Which I've used this technique in a lot of my builds, Star Wars, etc. You guys have too, more than likely. So when you're putting these things down, you have to get them directly on the stud, because they might want to kind of slide over and go in between 4 instead of going onto the 1 that is on the plate. The other thing is when you're putting down the studs on this, your fingers get really sore. Mine's like white and with my skin kind of falling apart because of doing this. Where when I did Elvis with the tiles, it was super smooth. And you could just slide, lock, slide, lock, slide, lock. Done. With this, you can't slide and lock them into the stud. You have to get them directly down, press, down, press. You can't fastly work with it. So that is one thing to note. The other thing I did want to note with using studs versus tiles is with the tiles with Elvis, I felt like I needed a roller, like maybe a cookie pin roller after I was done, to roll over it to crunch them all in, because when you would squeeze them down with something that rolled, you could just hear them go pop, 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 pop. With this one, with the studs, it actually goes directly in and it clicks. So one and done, where with Elvis, after you got done doing every tile, you had to press down. If you probably can see in my time lapse, I still did a check press, but every single one of these 27 squares behind me was ready to go. Perfect. Where with Elvis, had to work it in. So that is another thing I wanted to note on build quality. So if I could literally have my cake and eat it too, to where I could easily slide the studs into place like I did on Elvis with the tiles, but not have to use a roller pin to lock them in like I did on Elvis, I would give it a 10. But I can't, it's one or the other, and for this, I'm going to give it an 8. Because that was annoying, and my fingers hurt because of the studs. So, part usage, there's nothing special to report here. It's plate, it's brick to make the frame, it's special Technic pen brick to make the frame as well. There are hanger pieces to hanging onto the wall, which we're all going to use to display this set, but most of it is dots. So part usage is a 6, nothing special. There is no playability of the set. I'm going to dock it on that. There is no minifigs, dock it again. Availability, most retailers have this set. Lego Online has this set. I don't think the Lego store does, so I'm going to give it an 8. Ease of display is a 10. It's made to be displayed. You put 2 nails into a wall, you get them level, you get them from the right distance, you have Batman. Done. The price, $360 is what it would cost for you guys to build this set if you didn't get lucky like I did. That is a lot of money. That's a lot to consider. $360 for about a 10,000 piece set. It's not really a 10,000. I think it's like 6 or 7 when I did the math on the other one. I'm bad with numbers. But that's a lot of money. That's going back into the realm of $400 build, $400 build, $400 build with this channel. I think in this week alone we did Batman, which was damn near $300. Then we did the James Bond, which was about $200. And then we did the Loop Coaster, which was $400. And then this, which would have been $400 if I didn't get it on sale. I mean, this adds up. So I am going to grade it on the price you will pay, not the price I paid, and give it a 6. Now, I do think the Lego art sets are expensive regardless. $120 for a square this big? Ridiculous. Fun. Is this set fun? It's comic books. Comic books are fun. I'm just going to give it an 8. Simple. So now we have all of our scores. Let's add them up and let's see where we're at with this. So the set scored a 64. And honestly, guys, that nails it on the head. Because I would not recommend people to do these sets. At that price point, to have this much art is ridiculous. I'm not a big fan of expensive art as it is. $400 is a lot to hang on the wall. Elvis was $400 to hang on the wall. Now, Elvis, I love Elvis, so I kind of just did it because we all love Elvis, not just me. So that's understandable, but this is just for me. This doesn't make my mom happy. This doesn't make my wife happy. This makes me happy. And it's too much. If we could bring up the price and, make it worth it, let's say I rate the price at 10, it brings up to a 68, and that still is a barely recommend. I did not do this set until I got it on clearance. I could have done it at any time that I wanted to. I do $400 builds all the time on the channel, but I didn't because I couldn't justify it. And even at $200, I still was hard to justify it. But that is how I feel, that in a number and in a nutshell. If you guys want to spend the $400 and get this beautiful Batman artwork that's like from the comic books, go out and do it. It'll make you happy. But for me, I had a hard time justifying it. The sale helped. That's why it's here. So that's a perfect number, and I'm very happy with it. So if you guys want to drop a comment down below what you guys think of the Batman art, go ahead, drop it down below. I'd love to read your comments on it. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you have it? Let me know, because I'm happy to have it. I can't wait to hang it. But like I said, just $200 for all of this when I could have actual Lego sets that are brick built is just a lot. And if it was double, it would even be worse. For the price of a gunship, you could have this. I'll take the gunship. So, if you guys liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all, and you all have a really good one. And just so you guys know, we're all done for July. We'll be back in August with the store haul video. And with that, tomorrow I have a super close to my heart video that I am making to recap the last 6 months of everything we've been through here on the channel. And if you guys want to see a video about personal growth, check that video out. I'm almost in tears editing that video. It's taking me a week to make that video. So check out tomorrow's video where we recap everything we've done over the last 6 months. Thank you for watching.